Hello everybody. I'm just getting things ready here. All right. So let's do the mandatory audio check. Yeah, things are working great. Wonderful. So today it's late on a Sunday, and I was close to uni, and there was some stuff that I was working on a bit on the weekend because I wanted to kind of like there were some things that I wanted to do for the conclusion of the laut development stream week, and it can be quite motivating to set a goal like that. Oh, we're gonna be able to verify the hello binary, and then say, well, this is the week we're gonna do it. But I was really spent on Friday, and it was a long stream. But I still had fun doing some stuff off stream on the weekend, and I was in the area, so I thought, hey, let's do kind of a concluding stream. And the way that this is gonna work is I'm gonna go through some of the things that first of all, we're gonna start the VM tests so that we have a server with signatures locally, so we can try to get things running on the command line. But before we actually get things running on the command line, I anticipate that this will take some time, so we can go over some of the changes that I made on Saturday and today on Sunday. And then we can, after that, I think, to me, this is a good conclusion to the stream. So I'm gonna try to basically put the conclusion first, bookend the thing nicely, but then still try to expose laut on the CLI and try to get a bit further in the VM tests. So do some verification in the VM tests, maybe update the README with our progress. But we will because right now I can show this. Right now, if we look at the README, it says can't even verify this yet. And I think we should still keep some disclaimer that says, hey, don't use this, because one thing we're not gonna get rid of is we're not gonna get rid of the problem we have with the instability of the JSON format, and I don't want users on that as long as we have that problem. So I don't want to advertise the thing or yet, but we can somehow reflect in the README maybe that this is working, if we manage to get it working today. And if we don't, then that's fine. Then we don't have that for the conclusion of the laut development week, or laut development week if I want to pronounce it German. But that's fine. We will be happy either way. I think we made a lot of progress. Things are good. So what are we gonna do? All right, let's hop into the repository first. So we're gonna build the VM tests in their current state. This should not take too long. Maybe I'll move this window over here, right? So this just builds the test driver, because we're gonna run the tests on the command line. One thing that maybe let's go through the changes while this is building, and we'll check in and start it running. Start running it at some point, because we're gonna have to fill the the cache with some signatures. And that is going to take some time because we're going to try to do things on the command line, right? And we're going to do that against this this instance. We'll see how well this works at 11 at night. Normally I don't work at this time, but I was really feeling like it today. Okay, where do we start? Let's just go through the commits, because that will be a good way to understand what happened. Okay, on the 11th, I think this is stuff where we did together, right? We changed the return type to verify tree, and we were starting to fix signature verification, but we didn't like fully go through that. I think all of this is stuff that we did on stream. Yeah. I don't remember. Maybe a little bit is something I did in the evening, but I don't know when was this committed. Like, not that it's that interesting, but Saturday, yeah, Friday. I think that was on stream, so that's fine. Great. Yeah, so on Saturday I managed to successfully verify all those signatures, and like what I mentioned this on stream, we had this method that would fetch all of the signatures, and it was kind of interwoven with like S3 implementation details were kind of interwoven with other things. So I extracted this fetch resolved trace signature from S3 bucket method, and this was then a thing that we could mock away much more nicely. And so if by mocking on that level, we can see the mock somewhere here. By mocking on that level, we could switch the signature, the mock that fetches the signatures from looking at this file, which only has the payload but not the signature itself, which was a problem because we wanted to verify the signatures, right? To the signatures folder where we have a file for each individual, for each input hash. So now we just pick the file from in here and then do the same logic that you do when you fetch the same thing from S3 in the actual production method. So it has a little bit less mocking going on actually. Yeah, and then that was pretty much that. We could then no longer like load this JSON because this was something that was now handled by the production code. But otherwise, this worked pretty seamlessly, and I was very happy with that. We made this function return an optional, so we could also reflect it when we actually had an invalid signature. Yeah, this was fine. This worked well. I was very happy to get this to work. And then what else did we do? What else did I do? Yeah, I added a test for signing multiple derivation outputs, because like this was something that we had to do for that, right? And it was the big blocker that prevented like the final thing we needed to close this issue. First we had a different problem. We had some mismatch. No, that's not true. I wanted to say figure out why VM tests not upload more traces. This was the issue. Like this was, first we had a different issue, managed to find out what was going wrong there even before I started streaming. And when I started streaming, we ran into this, and the reason was, hey, we couldn't deal with multiple outputs for a derivation correctly. And I added a to-do for adding a test that checks this, and we have a test now, and we're actually using the same derivation that was failing before. And we have 3 output paths in here, and that test is also passing, though not in the sandbox because of like issues, like all of the other CLI sign tests. But that's good. Where else? I should be better at navigating here. Oh, in the meantime, let's also start running those VM tests, because we want to, they need some time, right? Result. What's wrong here? Didn't I do this? I did. Is there nothing in here? Oh, because that's the test run. We want the test driver. Alrighty then. I also managed to fix some of the things that made CI. So the things that made CI fail, we are still having some issue there, but we are in a much better state now. So first of all, I added some a GitHub action that frees some disk space, because the warning that we were getting was not about the size of the log. It was just the free space on the build host running out. And like I made some changes here, did not like set disk sizes for the builders. I don't think the store of the cache needs to be writable, because we're putting things in S3 there via min.io and not actually in the cache's own Nix store. And yeah, we use this. I'm using this free disk space action, and this helps. But this wasn't the full fix, I think. Was it? Yeah, I think I also had to turn down the memory that we used per builder. And the cores, maybe I could turn them off again, but there was a warning there was something in the logs about it, so I thought, oh, let's put them down to 4 cores per builder. Maybe it makes more sense to have 8 and just have there be a warning in GitHub. Let's see. Then, like, the big thing is that I merged Serge's pull request. So someone, Serge, who sat down with me working on this code at Ocean Sprint still. Wrong pull request. That was this. Yeah, thank you very much. I finally managed to merge this. Oh, there's a heart on it. Oh, Serge saw that I merged this. That's great. So yeah, what I needed was like to sit down and really go through the diff step by step, and that way I was able to understand more of it, and was able to basically take all of it. So is there something we can take a look at? Like, I was concerned that there's a different Nix packages version in the, if we look at the test, it pulls in a slightly different Nix packages version than we pull in via the flake. And yeah, this is not great, and I'm not sure that, like, if you go build laut through default.nix, I'm not sure. Maybe that actually fails because it's missing this, because it's missing a commit from this. But I'm not sure. This is to get Souffle to work. I'm not sure if we actually need this or if there's another way to get Souffle to work, because Python is invoking Souffle, and this is something I had to do to get make Souffle visible to Python. I'm not sure if there's another way that avoids patching Souffle. But I think, at least what I wanted to do, yeah, this is what I put in here in the merge commit. Like, I just put it to do in here, hey, verify that this works without that. So if somebody actually uses this for the default.nix and runs into this issue, at least they know what they're running into, right? And I feel like merging this and having a to-do in here is better than like not merging it and having it sit there, because maybe it's useful for somebody, and if they can fix this, that's great. And if they if they get stuck on this, well, yeah, I think they are happier to have a almost working default.nix file in here than having none at all. So that was kind of what I went with on my reasoning there. And also I saw that these Nix instantiate invocations that I was confused about, like, they totally make sense. They are just they are what you can do to avoid the issue I was having, where I basically didn't set -f to Nix packages CA, but I just set it to dot, and therefore I had to cd into the directory of the Nix packages instance that I was working with. As part of the fix, the other part of the fix, and this is something where I actually had to still touch stuff, and that's actually creating this Nix packages CA instance, which we do, like putting this on path, which we do in here. And here I still had to like do some fixes to make this work. But what this avoids is, before I had to like -arg config and then like do this every time on the command line, and now I have something that's just called Nix packages -ca, which is what I wanted to have originally as a flake. But if that's like difficult to achieve, then yeah, fine, let's use the non-flake interface for it, at least for now. So yeah. So thanks again very much, Serge, for that contribution. I thought it was important to actually, if you say I want contributors, you should actually try to get the stuff that people contribute into your repo, right? Yeah. Let's see, did we manage to, okay, we managed to build this. Let's run the driver. So we're starting the test script now, which should fill the cache. The cache host is starting up now. In the meantime, we can look at what else happened. You see, I was busy. Yeah, today I fixed the... Yeah, today apparently I just looked at the CI workflow. Made the Flake update workflow work by creating an actual token here, which I just hadn't done yet apparently. And yeah, that's that. I also added like a bot label to the reason why I added this is because I think it's good to be able to filter by that. Yeah. In addition to having it at the start of the name of the issue. And like, I just want to double check because I got an email earlier that this action was failing. Okay. Why was it failing at the time? I mean, I don't really get it because I think we had a clean run. Like, the one thing that wasn't working at one point was, I don't recall. There was an error in here somewhere, I think. Like, just not having the permission. It's a bit strange. Okay. Couldn't find remote ref. Pull request branch update flake lock action does not exist. Does this exist? Because I think it has the permission to. Yeah, I mean, let's just run. Let's just run this workflow one more time to see if that works now. Update flake lock. Yeah. And in the meantime, I can show you what the state of this CI is. I did some more work to figure out what's going wrong here, but I didn't succeed yet. Okay, so this is one of the runs that's just in cache. Flake. Let's try this run. Because that should have had new stuff, I think. Come on. Oh, this is a huge log file. So in the build sandbox, we still have the issue of, well, the builders in the test need to access cache.nixos.org or like need to access the original sources for all of the fixed output derivations. So either the tarbalt's fallback mechanism or the original sources for the fixed output derivations. And of course they can't do that in the build sandbox. And like the thing that I thought would address this would be to add all of the fixed output derivations that are in the closure of the thing we're trying to build in the test, in the build time closure of the thing we're trying to test, add those to the build host already ahead of time so that it doesn't go fetching this stuff. And I updated the issue accordingly. Which issue was that? I'm blanking on this now. Did I just link the pull request maybe? Yeah, sure, here. So CI is green now, but it's another thing that we should investigate. Why is CI green? Because it should, like, this build command failing should make CI red, right? I think this being green is related to what I'm doing here in terms of, hey, let's have background threads do stuff. And I think if one of them fails, I need to make that fail the overall build script. So let's add a to-do here. To that effect, to-do, make failing background thread fail CI. We can put that here with the definition of those. Yeah, I think this is the problem. But anyways, I asked on discourse to find an answer to this problem, basically saying, hey, my plan would be to add all the fixed output derivations to additional paths, but I don't know of a good way to do that. Ideally, you would be able to just do this at evaluation time. I tried to write some code for this, try to kind of direct an AI to write some code for this, like these collect-fots files are the result of that, but it didn't work out well, so I'm not even going to show you that. But yeah, so we're building things in here now, filling the cache. So I think in the meantime we can actually build laut and figure out what we have to do in order to expose the verification of signatures on the command line and make that work on the command line actually. So we want to do laut verify and give it a derivation. Probably not the hello derivation, and have that actually work out. So what derivation are we going to give to it? It should be what's in here, this bin utils package. But I like, because this should be it. Let's just check nix derivation show. I just want to know the name of that. Standard env boot packages, standard env boot packages, standard env boot packages. Can I get Nix to evaluate that for me? Like Nix wrapper, let's see. Oh, this seems to have worked. Maybe this helps us. Bin util bootstrap stage 0 bin utils wrapper. This should have been the final thing, so we can just find out that way. Go to the tests, traces, look up by name, I guess. And find the one time where okay. This is the input hash. The path for that derivation is this. And let's see if our local Nix instance knows about that one already. Yeah, that's good because it saves us a bunch of work. And then we can say laut verify this thing. And of course that's gonna be like not enough information. 0 signatures found. So this is what we want to make work. We want to make this work on the command line. If it works on the command line, we can start trying to make it work on in the VM tests. I'm not sure 100% if this is the correct order of approaching this problem. Maybe we will, after some time, realize, no, this is tough, and try to do something with the VM test. But then again, like, time will also run out, so we will see. Okay. Failed to resolve target. Haha, this is something we can already fix. Source. Verification, and I think this is the very bottom of the verification file, if it's not in the CLI file. No, it's in the CLI file. We wrote this on stream, I think. Failed to resolve. All right. Let's put an F here. And then also somewhere I think I wrote DVR instead of DRV. No? RDV, I don't know. Resolved RDV, yeah. DRV. All right. Fixed some typos. Great. So, like, so far this is not surprising because we didn't even give it enough information. And right now we are not focusing on making the command line interface bulletproof. We're still trying to get functionality working. So you could be concerned that we have some quote-unquote mandatory parameters and that it even starts running without complaining about us not setting those, but let's not do that right now. Let's focus on getting the data in there. So we need to set the two things, the cache, the caches and the keys is what we need to set. And the cache, this is the store URL that we're using inside of the inside of the VM test, and it has like the host name. So I think we just need something like this. What is let's invoke the help command and find out how we should pass this. -- cache. All right. And oh no. -- cache. I think we can leave the quotes here. All right. The port is gonna be 9000. And instead of cache, I'm just gonna use something in my tailnet, which will be, oh no, it's localhost even, localhost. I think localhost should work. And I think leaving binary cache as the name in here should be fine. So we're not configuring keys yet, but let's see if configuring the cache works. Okay, creating a S3 client using anonymous access. 0 signatures found for input hash something. Okay. Who says this? Fetch resolve trace signatures says this. Let's see. Config cache URLs. I'm not confident that we make it all the way in here, because we set this and it might very well just not be set yet, and it's a bit bad that we don't have logging for this, but I think the way that we should handle this is we should have logging at the point when this is like, if this is not set, then we shouldn't proceed this far. So, and like logging this every time we get to this point in the code is also not good, because it will be a lot. So let's see, do we actually set this in the CLI? Yes. So here is a good point to log this. Logger debug, I guess. Configured cache URLs. And we will see what falls out of the log now. We could have a bit of a faster iteration time if we didn't have to build this package. But apparently I'm ignorant of the fact that Python is a scripting language or in an interpreted language. Sorry about that. I should probably improve my workflow in that regard. Configured cache URLs. Okay, so it lands in here. That's good. So we should be hitting the cache. So let's not debug this too much yet. Let's first try to find, like, we're not using the trusted keys here at all. So let's try to set this and see if it makes a difference. Oh, this should be a dictionary. Honestly, I don't know yet why this is a dictionary. But the parameter name is trusted key. All right. And I think we're giving it a path. And I think, oh yeah, I know why it's a key. It's a path. It's a, like, the key has a name and the name is the key in the dictionary. And we're already loading this at the start of the try. So maybe we should do the cache configuration and printing of that ahead of this. Yeah. Fine. Then we're trying to configure the trusted keys. We will see if this works out. For where do we do this? Trusted keys at. Okay, we actually create this as a parameter. This is stupid. Oh no, trusted key is the variable. Key path. This has to be in trusted key somehow, I think, because this is the command line parameter. And then this is the output variable. So this is the input, this is the output. It's a bit terrible, but let's see. Key path. Yeah, okay. A list of paths. Or it's a multi-parameter thing. So you can -- trusted key and you can set multiple of those. But you're supposed to give it a path. Test keys slash builder a key private public. This looks good. Let's see how far we get with that. Oh no, it's complaining. No such option. Trusted key. This is the verify command. Trusted key. Required false. Multiple true. It's a path. Oh, come on. Why are you saying this doesn't exist? Does it? Is there an it's written differently probably. It's like this, right? Yeah. Got it. But we're finding 0 signatures. Free UG-5. Let's check out the cache manually. We have this nice web interface for it. The trace folder actually doesn't have this. Right? Again, things are more complicated than they seem. So the first thing we're trying to resolve is free UG-5G. I know what we're running into here. This is the non-determinism that we already talked about, which I said was the reason why we're not giving this in the hands of users, because Nix derivation show gives us something different for this derivation than depending on who's Nix, right? If we use the Lix locally here, the JSON representation of the derivation will be slightly different. And then with one of like those two things have to match between the builder and the verifier. So for now, what we have to do is Nix shell Nix packages Lix. I hope this works out to just be a front end for Nix now and be happy to show this derivation and other derivations in the correct format. Yeah, okay, we have Lix here now. Of course, the daemon is still Nix. So hopefully, yeah, we get the formatting that I'm expecting for Lix, even without changing the daemon. I think let's verify by exiting the dev shell with Lix and see what Nix shows us. Yeah, like this is different. It has the hash algorithm and method in two different lines, while Lix combines them into one value. And like if we had normalization for this difference, then actually things would work out for users, but still we would have differences, I think, related to dynamic derivations somewhere between Nix versions that support them and Nix versions that don't, I think. So we should, I think, switch to something more stable. But that's just what I'm thinking as I'm saying it. That's not like don't put too much weight in that. We will see how we will approach that. Nix packages leaks. I hope this will, I hope this also changes the Nix version that laut sees. I'm not sure. Let's just give it a try. Yeah, we end up with a different hash. So I think the answer is yes. Because beforehand we had this free UG thing, and now we have 53J, whatever. And this is something that's actually in the cache. So yay, this should work. But it doesn't. So maybe we're having issues with that S3 URL. And I have to say, I have no idea about S3. I'll just put a localhost IP address in here. There's another alternative to try. No. Then let's try to curl this thing. Connection refused. So how do I get something from S3 using curl? Because at this point, I think I want to just try to access this storage. Thinking, how do I? I need to set a bunch of content headers. I'm not this kind of a developer, man. Meaning I don't usually deal with S3. This binary cache thing is, I think, the name of the bucket or something, right? And this used to work because I was able to get stuff from this. Oh, we have credentials in here. But those, I think, are only for filling the cache. So there's two kind of branching paths that we could go down now. We could try to we could still focus on getting this to work on the command line, or we could try seeing what happens if we try to do verification in the VM test and add. Okay, we're already passing the correct parameters here. So we could just try running that test. Yeah, let's do that, because theoretically, if it's just some local issue here, theoretically we are equally far in the test. But there's probably a few things we have to do ahead of time, like, okay, we already have licks in here as instead of nix. We probably should also like change the package. Next, like package. Let's see. Yeah, Nix package. We can do that on the verification side as well. It shouldn't make a difference. So maybe that it actually shouldn't make a difference would be a good reason to not do it, but let's do it for now. And then also we also have to set the Nix path the same way. Duplicating this code isn't nice, and we can absolutely avoid that. But I'm not writing an abstraction on stream at this hour, unfortunately. All right. So let's just see how far we get with this. We could actually turn on both builders, but we won't, because we don't need to. But we'll turn builder A off again and then start the verification machine and have it run verification. Trusted key, Nix instantiate, cache. So this store URL. Yeah, that looks good. So we will have to kill this. Rebuild the driver and then try that, which might take some time, but yeah, that's how it is. In the meantime, we could brainstorm reasons why we might be failing to access S3 properly, or like even better, we can change the launch options for the debugger. I think the module is called main, right? Is it just, we go in here, laut CLI main. Is this how we tell the debugger to launch our thing? I don't know. But we have the options here, right? Cache is free stuff. Trusted key and derivation and so on. Actually, we can, I think it looks nicer like this. And then the path of the derivation. And we'll get rid of this. Add some commas. Okay, this looks happy now. So let's try running this. But you can see we are really close from like having the command line experience for verification kind of work, you know, like having a minimal thing work. And I think this is a good conclusion to our week, independently of whether or not we manage to figure out what's wrong with that S3 URL. Because we are really close. Let's have a look at chat. When I say chat, like Twitch chat should appear on stream, but there's also the laut channel on Matrix. Which you can find here. Thinking while this is starting, should we? Yeah, we can try if we can see if the debugger works. Because the verifier is anyways just gonna be reading from the cache. No module named laut. Bro, I don't. No, this is what I put in the PyProject toml. Like, you might notice that I'm not a Python person or a Python programmer. I'm doing my best, okay? Oh, this is just scripts. But it does complain that laut doesn't exist, right? No module named laut. Which makes sense, because we didn't build that yet. So here we're not debugging the package, we're just dealing with the raw Python stuff, so... Type. Yeah, debug py is probably not the, is it the right type? This might actually be a thing that I just ask AI. Cool, the builder is starting. Let's just see what it says. Yeah, okay, workspace folder. And just script. Okay, yeah, I mean, that sounds good. Yeah, I apologize for my not knowingness. Sorry. Request and then program console and just my code. And this replaces this. Oh, console, we already got that. Already got that as well. So it's just about setting program here, and we're setting it to source laut. No, source laut CLI.py. Like, I think I know what's gonna happen. Like, the imports are gonna be wrong. And that's the reason why I'm building the no module named laut. Yes. Okay. So, forgive me, internet. I am not a Python programmer. But I can learn this, but I won't learn it on stream. So in order to just invoke my program without building it, I should fix the imports. And for that, I should just learn how to do that properly. How to specify this stuff properly. And I don't think this is something that we can fix here right now. But at least we can tell Claude about it. I think I specified imports in my Python program in a way where they are found when it's a build package, but not when I invoke the script directly. Basically, if I invoke it directly, it does not. Nice. It doesn't recognize the module that it's defined in as a valid top-level import. Maybe it has something smart to say, maybe not. Laut CLI, does that help? Add project root to Python path sounds. Like, I should be a better Python developer to have a good answer to this question. Need to look into it a bit. Okay, the builder shut down, and now the reproduce, like the verifier is starting up. I don't know, like this presents 3 options, and I'm pretty sure one of them is like the correct thing to do. And Claude doesn't. I don't think Claude tells me which one is the correct one. If I add my project root to Python path, what's the implication of that? I mean, it sounds like the correct thing to do. Is this not something I'm doing already? Change working directory, right? Python path, environment Python path, maybe. Like this sounds reasonable, theoretically. But I also didn't think it through, you know, because I did have issues with this in the past where like part of the package was on my Python path, part of the build package was, and part of the and the local files were, and like that was terrible. Yeah, no, I have to take some time or talk to somebody who knows what they're doing about this. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to see what falls out of the VM tests, see if that works or not, and then I think we're going to conclude the stream. So thank you very much if you've been following the laut development stream week. It has been a lot of fun. I think I'm going to stream again. We will see. We will see what I figure out. Maybe we will find a slightly different mode or a very different mode. I don't know when I'm going to stream again. But this for sure has been a fun thing to do. And also been productive. Missing parameter target. Why are you missing the target? Like what falls out of Nix instantiate should be the target. Unrecognized flag -F. What? We're already calling Nix instantiate earlier, I think. Do we? Nix build -F. Trivial package CA string. Is this just really far off? Should we just look at them? I mean, I'm assuming this used to work because we have it in here, do we? -A. should we just not use -f? I think I can figure this out because there's a test file in here somewhere. This try.nix, and if I do something like if I pretend this is Nix packages and then say hello. This works, ha! So maybe we need something like this. And I'll just do this in the test now. For local repro succeed, and then this string. Oh no, we have to, we can approach this differently. Maybe I shouldn't have pressed Control C, but I don't know. Let's start from this. We'll add -a here, remove the -f here, and escape the quotes. Looking good. Now closing the parentheses. Unexpected end of file. Okay. Cannot unpack non-iterable trusted key object. Where is the trusted key? In the store. Yeah, I don't know. This is the end of the stream. We got so far. But like we still need to fix that reliance on the JSON output between the builder and verifier matching anyways, so it's not like we could have users. Also, most users are not using content address derivations, so there's still a lot of stuff to do, but we made good progress in a week. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night or a nice day, and we will see where this goes. All right. Bye, everybody.